on my own 2 feet. Who do you think when you have such luck? I'm in love. All sugar. Yeah. Well, bleed on and you what's on my mind, 'cause I'm a little shook up, but I'm feeling fine. When I'm around this girl I love best, my heart beats so it scares me to death.
He's the editor and publisher of the Eastland County newspapers. He's been in the newspaper business for 65 years. He is also the author of several publications, including The Story of Old Rip, a horned toad that slept for 30 years. I would like to invite Mr. O'Brien to join me up here and lead us in the oath.
Thank you, Carla. There for a minute, I thought I'd won the Pulitzer Prize. Dear folks, we're here for a very serious occasion. We come not to bury Caesar or Old Rip. He was buried many years ago. But we're going to administer the annual oath again this year. And in the event that you are ever confronted by someone, oh, excuse me, there's some confusion back. Could you throw that person out, please? He's a non-believer. Thank you. It's okay now. We can go. Old Rip was a horned toad placed in the cornerstone in 1897. They were filling the stone to be put in the second courthouse, not the one we're in now, but the one that was removed earlier. And as typical young boys and men will do, a couple of kids put some horned toads in there, but one in particular. And 31 years later, my predecessor, Mr. Norton, was the publisher, and he told his young cub reporter, who was Boyce House, who went on the great writing skills, when he covered that, he said, ignore the whiskey and the Bible, but zero in on the frog, because people knew that there was a frog there. And so he did, and made stories out of it. And ever since, we have tried to keep the frog story alive. Aren't you glad that we don't have to pay tribute to a mule or to a rattlesnake? Horned frogs used to be very prevalent throughout this area, but either mischievous boys or insecticide or fire ants destroyed them apparently, but we are now beginning to see them come back. And we'd be glad if you know of any, to let us know, because we have people who will go out and take pictures and all that sort of stuff. But we try to keep the story alive. And I'd like to pay tribute to, also, to the late Scott Bailey, who, our county judge. He actually did a lot to keep the story going. And I feel like it's our responsibility to follow him and keep it forevermore. Now, I would say that you could stand, but it might be more comfortable just to sit and repeat after me, because you might be confronted someday by another non-believer, and it's your responsibility to let them know the true facts about Old Rip. Will you repeat after me? Oh, by the way, manager. What we like to do is put your left hand on your heart and hold your right hand up. And you do the same thing too, because this is very serious. I know it seems humorous, but it is very serious. And repeat after me. I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the office of Rip Promoter Now, if you get the signal, if you look at our mannequin here, and just kind of go to that. And we'll do the best of my ability to promote, preserve, protect, and defend to death the truth of the story of Old River. We are now purged for another year.
One more time. Our guest speaker must be really good. There's a lot of big words in his introduction, so it must be awesome. Mr. Kevin Tutt is a master of generating enthusiasm and excitement. He's an amazing speaker and connects quickly with his audience. As co-founder of Tutt and Gags Corporate Speakers, he has chosen to inspire and challenge audiences of all types to reevaluate their personal commitment toward work and life. Kevin emphasizes the leader's contribution to the success of people around them. It is Kevin's vision to maximize individual potential and, with focusing on the details, begin a big journey of making a difference. Since 2006, Kevin has inspired, entertained, and helped advance over 1,000 organizations in positivity, attitude, change, and engagement. His past experience in healthcare and serving as an adjunct instructor at Abilene Christian University has made the move to corporate America seamless. Kevin's desire to shake up corporate complacency was born out of his previous experience of working to improve client service with patience and understanding the necessity of uncompromising student engagement and education. Kevin is a husband, father, brother, son, and friend. Growing up in the country, he developed a deep appreciation for hard work and overcoming adversity. Kevin's laid-back approach, adaptability, and lighthearted spirit make him the perfect choice for our good. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Kevin Tutt.
How's everybody? Good, all right. What I'm going to ask you to do real quick is just turn your chairs so you can face me, just because I don't want you to have a screen in it. I am excited to be here. I am Kevin Tutt, and when I, in 1982, I was a sophomore at Gymnet High School. I weighed about 160 pounds, was 6 foot 2.5 inches, and we took on this new school in our district called the Eastland Mavericks. And I was pretty fired up. I was on the varsity as a sophomore. I can still remember I was not a starter until the guy in front of me got hurt playing Haskell. So I went in at halftime against Haskell, and I am now the starting middle linebacker for Gymnet at 160 pounds, 6 foot 2. I look like a spear when I went to tackle somebody. Our next game was, at the time, state-ranked #1 Eastland Mavericks. And here's how the deal started. You know, you don't have dressing rooms there. I don't know if y'all know that or not, but you don't have dressing rooms in the field. So we're standing around, you know, in our uniforms ready to roll, and here comes this yellow dog. That's a bus. The door opens up, and this huge, I remember I'm just a sophomore, this huge guy steps off. Let me picture this for you. He's got his white uniform on, his white pants, pulled up, half shirt cut off gray, and I think it was like a red do-rag or bandana. And he steps off the bus and he screams, "I'm ready to kill me some Indians!" I think he meant it. That was Jim Morley. Jim here? He's not here. So I spent the next 3 hours letting James Morton run over me. Occasionally I saw Thomas Sanders' cleat go by. I do have to say I was very envious of the time, and for some reason I remember like 16 of your players. I'm not going to name them all. I remember I was so jealous though of a young man that was a sophomore, same age as me, named Judd Hess. I'm like, that's just not fair. He gets to line up in front of the center, and all he's got to do is go tackle people. I gotta try to. I mean, it was a good thing. So I do have to say, Coach Morton, It's been a long time. It's 30-something years, my friend. I don't know if you ever remember hitting me. It probably wasn't much. Everybody like this. Bam, there's something. And I might have avoided it occasionally. But anyway, I do have to say, for the record, we held you guys to the fewest points in district. 50 to nothing. 50 to nothing. And I will tell you, you'll remember this. I have some really good friends at Albany that thought they would be real cute and start to. How many of you guys remember this team? I mean, y'all like, we don't remember the age. They thought they'd be real cute and they ran a trick play. First play of the game, they threw it to Myron Shepard on a pattern. He was standing out of bounds and stepped in and took off. I think y'all beat them like 80 to 6. You know, anyway, I have to tell you, I love being here in Eastland today. I love small towns. I get to travel all over the United States and Canada doing motivational stuff. And I appreciate Cecil seeing me last year at the Civic Center and said, hey, Kevin, would you come do a little thing for us? I said, absolutely. We have a place out at Lake Leon. I don't really know the county road. You don't know stuff in the country. It's just up by the dam. I mean, that's where the place is. And I want to share with you real quickly what I'm going to talk to you about tonight. Last year, Mike Dax and I published our first book. It's called Trap, Escaping the Comforts of Complacency. And our tagline here says, you have the power to make a difference. What I'm going to do in the next, how much time have I got? 5? You'll just holler? Okay. In the next 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes, whatever she gives me, I'm going to share with you really just 2 principles out of our book. Because when you start talking about complacency, I believe it truly is a trap. I truly believe that we work hard at getting everything situated so we can just kind of cruise, and then we look up and we realize we haven't done a whole lot of anything in several years because we become complacent. And the word that confuses some people is the word, the comfort of complacency. And I will tell you right now, if you're comfortable in what you're doing, you're probably not doing a whole lot of exciting stuff. So 2 things I'm going to share with you real quickly. We start talking about overcoming the comforts of complacency and getting out of that trap. The first one is this. Number 1, you have to see change differently. You have to look at change differently. I can remember my brother and I, he was 4 years older than me. He didn't get to play the Eastland Mavericks. He got to play the Rotan Yellowhammer and the Lamb Brothers and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, he and I got this amazing gift for Christmas one year. We hooked it up to our TV and we were so fired up about it. We had this little console in front of us. It was a black and white. Does anybody remember what the original video was? Yeah, right there. Somebody, raise your hand if you had Pong. Okay? Well, Pong, we thought we had it going on. Okay? I mean, we moved those little sticks and that little thing went up and down, and the ball wasn't even round. Remember, it was like a little stop sign going around on the TV screen. If you had the high-tech version, it had a little switch you could flip, and it went from a big stick to a little stick. I mean, that was high-tech. We got a little more high-tech as time went on, though. We got this Atari. I can remember we got this Atari, and we were so excited about it. Do you remember the #1 game that Atari came out with, back in the 80s that we played? Well, that game was cool, but that was maybe. No, it was Space Invaders. Remember the Space Invaders? And here they come. I mean, they're really scary. They're like these, like doing calisthenics. It's like. And that's the game. And all you do is move back and forth and shoot. We got a really awesome game as a kid would take on the bus with us. It was a Mattel football. How many of you played, James? I'm sure you played Mattel football. I mean, you're up and down. And it resembles no part of football. There's nothing about it except it's a little green field, but it's a little red slash that you're going up and down with. You're just avoiding other red slashes. And if you were good at it, you just kept it for a real long time and ran the clock out. And you're like, okay, I scored here, yours, and the game's over. That's what we grew up with. So when I start talking about looking at change differently, let me share something with you. Times are different. And in Eastland County, we can't continue to look. You cannot continue to look at the world as though you're playing Pong or Space Invaders. Because there's a new game out there, and this is it. My daughter got a PS4 for Christmas. She got Black Ops 3. Raise your hand if you've seen Black Ops 3. Okay? It's awesome, isn't it? There's a whole lot more than just moving a little stick up and down. I mean, you got like 42 different deals. You're shooting, you're running, you're jumping. She got a game the other day, the Star Wars game, and all that sort of stuff. It's amazing. But here's the thing, you see, when we played video games, we played one another, we had to wait for the score to come up and then it went to your partner. People playing today are playing who? People all over the world. It's pretty cool. It's kind of scary, but it's also pretty cool. I see her running, her little guy's running. She's gone, and here's this little name jumps up, somebody shot her. You know, it's like hashtags, and it's amazing. But you see, here's what I want to share with you. If we are still looking at things, and I'm not saying to change the city, I'm just saying we have to look at change differently. When someone comes to you with an idea about doing things different, faster, better, whatever it may be, and you go, you know what, we've never done that. You may literally be working with a joystick with a little red button. Things change, and you have to look at change differently. The second thing is this. Number one, I believe you have to look at change differently. Number two, and the book talks about this, is this. We have to stop rationalizing. We have to stop rationalizing. I'll give you a great example. We got a new CEO at our hospital, Tim Lancaster, came in several years ago. And he's the one that kind of gave me this phrase. He called all 50 of the managers into, we're in our regular meeting, and he said this. Why are we not making money? I don't know if y'all knew that, but this was a Hendrick Medical Center. We weren't making money. Losing $2 or $3 million a year, which they thought that was awesome. He said, why are we losing money? I want you to take 2 minutes and I want to write that down on a piece of paper. People started writing down why their departments were not losing money. Then he said, here's what I want you to do with that piece of paper. I want you to fold it in half. Because if I asked every one of you, I guarantee every one of you would have a great reason for us not making money within your department. But here's the truth. Given the circumstances, what are you going to do about it? Because I don't care what you have written on that piece of paper. We've got to start doing things differently. We've got to stop rationalizing, and we've got to start making a difference. I want to share my last story with you about rationalization. It would have been the second week in August. This was several years ago. My daughter, who's the oldest right now, she is actually a senior at Texas A&M. She's living at home with us again now, doing student teacher at Wiley. That's just weird for a gym ed person to be subbing at Wiley, but she's doing it anyway. Anyway, her junior year in high school, second week in August, she's a cheerleader, and we're just kind of hanging out there at the house. About 10:30, we go to bed. About 11:30, my dogs start barking. Now, my dogs have two types of bark. There's a bark that, hey, there's a skunk or a coyote or something out here. And then there's a bark that someone is at the house, okay? Well, about 11:30, I start getting the someone's at the house bark. So I sort of get up, I'm just wearing, it's still 100 degrees here in Texas in August. I get up and wearing my athletic shorts, and I've got a little window over my front door, and I sort of look out there. And you know what it's like in August, it's a full moon. So when I look out there, I can't see well, but I can see pretty good. And I see these little silhouettes going across my circle drive. I live out in the country, out in the sticks. Here go these little silhouettes. Immediately, what do I know is happening? My house is being what? It's being toilet paper. It's being rolled. Yeah. So I go back in the bedroom, I grab my tissues, and my wife watches, like, what's going on? What's going on? I'm like, hey, get toilet paper, get toilet paper. I go back out, and now Kelsey and Carson's a junior right now, Jim Ed. They came out, they're like, what's going on? Like, we're getting toilet paper. By the way, the cuts love it when we get toilet paper, okay? So I got my shoes on, and I'm kind of looking out the window, so I grab the door, kind of take a lean back, and then I just fire it open. I go chatting out that door. As I go running out, the door opens. The guys can hear me. They take off running. What I discovered was that there was about 12 boys, all juniors, getting ready for 2 days the next day. That's why Eastland doesn't have a problem beating the crap out of us. But anyway, we're out TV. Y'all sleeping anyway. Y'all are lifting weights probably at 2 in the morning. So I see all these silhouettes running. Well, I'm not the most fleet of foot, but I'm still pretty quick. James, I wish I'd have weighed 230 when you were running me over. 160, man. I was 160 anyway. So I take off running. And I catch up to the slow guys, And they don't know, but I'm running along the side of them like this. You know how high school boys are like that. And all of a sudden it's like this. Oh my gosh, he's here, God's here. And so they take off running. Now I'm sprinting after them. I can see there's a couple of four-door pickups in front of me. the doors open and they start flying inside, and I'm like, you know what, I got a great idea. At this point, I'm just sweaty. I mean, it's 100 degrees, humid, and I'm just drenched in sweat, and I go, you know what, I'm going to just jump in the back seat with those guys, and I'm going to just get nasty all over. I'm going to beer sweat all over. And as I get to the back of the cab, I grab the door jam, I'm getting ready to swing myself in there. As I get about right here, I realize something. A few of the boys thought it would be really awesome if they TP'd our house while streaking. I get out here, it looks like the Matrix. I'm like, whoa! I'm like, what are you doing? And they're like, and I go, stop! Because here comes my family, you know. Stop, get your clothes on, get your clothes on. Well, they get the clothes on, and we had a good laugh, and you know the rules of toilet paper, and when you catch somebody, it's over, so I know they're going to leave. They drive off, and my daughter Kelsey says, hey, text them and find out where they're going. So she texts one of the, how many of you guys have raised a high school boy? They're pretty easily manipulated, right? They're on the text, they're going to tell them whatever. So they tell me they're going to the band director's house. He lives in a subdivision called the Canyon. If you've ever been 8384 behind the gas station, that's where they live. So we go in the house and grab our water balloon stuff. So we start filling up water balloons and putting them in 5-gallon buckets. We drive about a mile over to the canyons where this is happening. Sure enough, his house is just covered. I mean, it's been about 10 minutes. We kind of slip up, and I don't know how this happens, but I kind of make this perfect throw like this, and it just, I was back one of them, they're like, now Kelsey and Carson, they're a little hyper. They just grab the bucket and take off. They're like, they're going water balloons. The guys run. They're jumping in their trucks again. And as they drive off, this is what I hear. Ah! This ain't over yet. Let's go. Let's get in the car. We're unprotected. We got to get to the house. So we get in the car. We drive back to our house. And sure enough, they're not there. So I said, Kelsey, find out where they went. So she texted me and she said, hey, well, one of the boys responds, hey, we had to go to bed. The Frank said, hey, we got to get home and get ready. I'm like, right. A bunch of old people just killed you in a water balloon fight, and you're going to go home and go to bed. They're up to something. So we know they're going to be back later. So here's what happened. My wife, Marcy, and Kelsey, I've got a circle drive. I've got a front porch about like this stage, a wide front porch. I've got a circle drive. I've got 2 hose bibs on each end. So they both grab a water hose, pull it across there into some cedar trees, not too many snakes that time of year. They got their sprayers ready, so they're kind of hiding in the bushes. I run into my bathroom and grab a brand new can of shaving cream. Now this is pretty cool. If you will take the top off of that, punch the middle out, put the middle back on top, and then tape it on there. When you push that, it'll shoot about 15 feet. It's called the shower shave cream bomb. It's really awesome. So I make this thing, and I go back in the kitchen, and here's Carson. She's my, I don't know if you got, if y'all were at the basketball game today. My daughter's a junior. She's number 33. She is like just tomboy. She's like just bad for the kitchen table. She grabs the flour out of the pantry, and she takes, now this is important, she takes the Kleenex, and she separates them into single ply. So she lays about 12 single ply Kleenexes down. She puts a cup of flour in each one. Then she pulls the 4 corners together, twists them in the little rubber bands that go in her braces. She started putting them rubber bands on there. She made 12 of the best flour bombs I've ever seen. She then breaks them into an Easter basket. I'm like, where'd she get that Easter basket? I don't know. And she vanishes. Well, sure enough, where I live in Tuscola, Buffalo Gap between, I can see basically Midland. I mean, it is flat. So I see these car lines coming. I'm like, they're coming. I don't know where everybody is, but they're coming. Sure enough, 2 trucks pull in, turn the lights off. Well, I'm kind of standing over in the truck, kind of hiding, got my shower cream on ready. They start throwing something at the house. What are they throwing? And then I realized this is what they were throwing. They had gone back to the field house and loaded 2 50-gallon drums of leftover watermelon rind from a watermelon supper they had that day after practice. They're now chunking that at our house. Well, about that time, Marcy and Kelsey had enough. They come out and they're like, shh, they're spraying them down and they're chunking the watermelon stuff at them. And finally, I saw the kid. You know who the kid is, right? The one that kind of instigated this whole thing. He's in the back of one of the trucks, so I just take off running. I jump over in the back and I tackle him, and I'm just covering him. At this point, they're like, touch in the back. So they all jump in. Now with shaving cream, you just rip it off of you and chunk it to someone else, and they rip it. So now we've got water, we've got shaved cream. It's just like this craziness. And all of a sudden, here comes Carson. I'm on your team. I just did it because I'm going to smoke Dad in the face. Well, the thing about these flower bombs is it's like a rosin bag in baseball. You can just pick it up and you can chunk it again until all the flowers out of it. So now we're throwing this up and it literally looked like pancake batter all over us and all over these kids. After about 5 or 6 minutes of this, we called timeout. We went over to our driveway, took our sprayers, and we sprayed each other off, washed the kids' trucks off. And hey, really, Marcy had been getting some texts from Miss Frakes. You guys do have to go home. And hey, before you go, y'all huddle up here. I just want to tell you guys something. Number one, put your seatbelts on. Be careful. Be safe. Get home. Number two, thank you for tonight. Thank you for messing with us and being good sports. Coming back over here. And I just want you guys to know something. I pointed to Kelsey and Carson. I said, Marcy and I love you just like we love those two girls right there. If there's ever anything, I know life's going to be hard and I know life's going to get you down, but don't think you don't have a friend that you can talk to us about anything and everything that you might not talk to your parents about, but we love you and we want you guys to have a good time. They got in their car and they started driving home. About 5 minutes later, social media starts blowing up. Facebook and stuff like that, and all these posts. I don't know how this happens, but all of a sudden the girls are like, "Why didn't you invite us?" Like, you don't get invited to this. And then a post comes across Facebook, and this is what it's from. And I've asked him his name. He's in the book. His name's Hunter Castleberry, and this is what he says. He says, "Water wars with the touch. One of the best nights of my life in this small town." What you need to know about Hunter was 2 years earlier, his dad passed away with cancer. He was the equipment and film guy for Hardin Simmons University, Mr. Castleberry. Some of you guys may know him if you follow Hardin Simmons football. And I sat there and I thought to myself, you know what? Here's a young man who's had one of the best nights of his life, but could have none of this could have happened if I had simply rationalized. You see, let's go back to the dog park. I could have looked out there and I see those boys, I open the door and I say, "Hey, get out of here!" And it's what? It's over. Probably 99.9 of you here like, "That's what I'd have done." Go back to bed. But listen, that's where life is. Life is out there throwing stuff at kids. Life is out there having fun. Life is out there staying like, life is going to the lumber yard. I didn't know about that while you asked me if I wanted a room tonight. I didn't know I needed a room. Come to the lumber yard. But anyway, that's where the spice of life is. That's where things are fun. And here's what I know. I hope it's okay to throw God into this because I really think there's a reason I'm here tonight. I think Eastland is going to be a great place for Coach Malone. And he doesn't even know I was going to say this. There's things he's going to ask y'all to do. People he's going to ask to do some things, stretch your people to do some things around, and you're going to look at him and you're going to go, "It's not necessary, James. It ain't necessary." Listen to me. It is. Dadgummit. You can sit around in the trap of complacency and be the same, just trying to survive group that you've been. Or you can say, you know what? Life is so much better when you get out of this trap and you start working harder. So here's what I want to end with. You guys need to stop rationalizing the difficult changes that are coming and start making plans for success. Thank you guys so much for having me. God bless you.